Randall picks it off, a shot and a goal. The third time tonight. Ball is stripped and there's Laurinaitis with the football, and he's going to go for a touchdown.
Caeer on the header, and it's a goal!
Swings it for Bryant, three-pointer, it's good!
Swing and a miss, outside pitch. 2 strikeouts for Nishek.
Hello and welcome to a special CCX sports presentation. I'm John Jacobson. We started our Athletic Hall of Fame in 2004, and today we welcome 4 new members.
I'm Jay Wilcox. Thanks for joining us. It's an exciting group representing 4 different schools in the sports of hockey, basketball, and golf. And let's get to our new Hall of Famers. First up in our class of 2022, a women's hockey star who had the honor of wearing the USA jersey in the Olympic Games after growing up playing in Plymouth.
She's a hockey star who shined on a world stage. We welcome Plymouth native and 2013 Blake graduate Dani Cameranesi into our CCX Sports Hall of Fame.
It definitely feels a little bit weird, I think, and not something that I ever could have dreamed of when I was little, when I got into hockey just for fun, and I think for my parents just to get my energy out, but just to see the places that hockey has taken me and the things that I've been able to do, and something like this is pretty cool to say, and hopefully something I can tell my kids one day too.
This summer, former University of Minnesota star and 2-time Olympian Cameranesi announced that she's retiring from playing hockey at age 27. The timing felt right.
I was lucky enough to be a part of a second Olympics, and it was a great experience, and I obviously love the game, and all of my friends play hockey too, so that was probably the hardest part, but just felt that I got to the age and to a comfortable point in my life where I felt that I was ready to move on and maybe pass the torch to some younger kids and let them have an opportunity to wear red, white, and blue and represent our country in that way, and I just felt very at peace with it.
Her hockey career started in the Wayzata Youth Association, where Dani played in the boys program up until 8th grade. Her brother Tony, 2 years older and a future star at Wayzata and Minnesota Duluth, was a key factor in her career.
Oh gosh, yes, he I think is probably the biggest reason for my success in my career, and for the fact that I'm even playing hockey. And unfortunate for him, I think I was a shadow behind him when we were little, and I just followed him around everywhere and did everything that he did, and he wanted to play hockey like our older cousins did, and I just wanted to be like my brother.
Dani started playing girls hockey as an 8th grader for Blake.
Dani Cameranesi in front, a shot and a goal.
She was a 4-time All-State pick, and as a senior racked up 57 goals on the way to winning the Ms. Hockey Award and Star Tribune Metro Player of the Year. She won state titles in her 8th grade year and senior year. And in the middle 3 seasons, her Bears were ousted by arch-rival Breck.
I think looking back on it, it was pretty cool. Like I know there's rivalries in sport and rivalries in high school, but that one just kind of felt like it was at a whole nother level, and I had that same experience throughout my entire career, and I think that was a really good opening experience to what a rivalry is like and what you can expect in games like that. And same thing kind of happened at Minnesota with Wisconsin, and then obviously on the world stage with Canada. So throughout my whole career, I've definitely experienced some rivalries, and I think that initial Breck rivalry is kind of what started it all.
At Minnesota, Cameranesi was National Rookie of the Year as a freshman and earned second-team All-American status in her sophomore and junior years before being limited by an injury as a senior. And like in high school, Dani was part of 2 championship teams, helping the Gophers to NCAA titles in her middle 2 seasons.
Dani was just a fierce competitor, really, really hard on the puck, had great speed, went to the net and was rewarded for it. Even better than all those things is just what type of person she is, and the type of teammate she was as well. She just made everybody around her better.
Cameranesi got the chance to play in the USA hockey program starting as a teenager, eventually competing in the Olympics. winning gold in Pyeongchang in 2018 and silver in Beijing earlier this year. The gold was pretty special, even compared to other championships.
There's just something so different about, I think, representing your country in the way that we get to represent our country. Some people go out there and sacrifice their lives, and we get to just play a sport that we love with the people that we love, and that's the way that we get to represent our country. And to have USA on your chest, and fortunately that time our parents were able to be there, so seeing our parents in the stands with the medal, and then singing our national anthem with your arms around the people that you went through it all with, I think there's truly nothing greater than that feeling.
And as for that storied USA-Canada rivalry?
Off the ice, I think we've been getting a little closer, and they are good people, but yeah, on the ice, definitely don't like them. I would argue hate, but I know my mom told me to never use that word, but I think I might in this case. It's just tough when you know that every single time it's pretty much USA and Canada in a championship game.
With her hockey career now in the past, Dani took a job as an analyst with Optum Advisory Services this year, and in late July was married to a former Gopher men's hockey player, Michael Brodzinski.
It doesn't feel any different than before, I will say, but since we've been together for 9 years, but it was an absolutely amazing day, and something that I've been spending a lot of time on with my mom and getting that all together, but it was, on top of the gold medal, was one of the best days of my life.
Obviously a great hockey player, John, but also such a great person. Been so fun to talk to her, and seeing her come into our studio with an Olympic gold medal a few years back after that championship, one of the highlights, I think, for all of our careers, too.
I got to hold it. It was pretty cool. I won't lie. Still to come on our CCX Sports Hall of Fame special, we'll visit with a former Hopkins High School basketball star who is now a WNBA veteran. Welcome back to the 2022 CCX Sports Hall of Fame special. Our next new member into the Hall was an outstanding talent who was part of a state girls basketball dynasty. She won 3 straight state basketball championships for Hopkins a decade ago. We welcome 2013 Hopkins High School graduate Nia Coffee into the CCX Sports Hall of Fame.
Shellquist has it sent into the corner by Nia Coffee. Wow.
The middle child of the 3 basketball-playing Coffee children, Nia was regarded as Minnesota's best prep player her senior year. The high school All-American averaged nearly 19 points a game and leading Hopkins to their 3rd title in a row.
I had a great high school experience. Like, the group of girls that I grew up playing with, like, we played with each other since like middle school, and then going to high school, winning 3 championships like on this court, like, you know, that's, you know, the best, you know, memories to have.
Nia's older sister Sydney played for Hopkins and later at Marist College in New York State, and then professionally overseas.
Driving down the lane and hammers it.
Like his 2 big sisters, younger brother Amir also won a state championship at Hopkins, then went to the University of Minnesota, and is now in the NBA playing for the Los Angeles Clippers. Brian Cosgriff coached Nia in high school and coached a lot of the Hopkins greats over 20-plus years there. He knows her legacy and the program's history is secure.
The most athletic player. No, there was nobody more athletic than her. Anything close was maybe her sister.
McNeil reverses, swatted by Coffee.
She would pin shots on the backboard, blocking shots. She had just a crazy ability to time blocking shots. Great rebounder. You know, could hit the 3, could drive to the basket.
He was a great coach. Like, I went to college prepared, you know, and a lot of other freshmen, like, they weren't as prepared. So he was very detail oriented, and that helped me with my process at Northwestern. Like, I was able to grasp a lot more information and things quicker.
After high school, Nia accepted a basketball scholarship to play at Northwestern University. And again, she flourished. Coffee was a 4-time All-Big Ten player for the Wildcats and graduated as the program's all-time leading rebounder and 2nd leading scorer and shot blocker.
I was around people that just allowed me to be me. They didn't expect me or push me to be anything that I wasn't, and that is that's huge when you have an environment just accepting of you and just allowing you to like learn through your mistakes and your hiccups and still be next to you. And I had a great class. We were a fantastic class.
Just the 5th woman in conference history to reach 2,000 career points and 1,000 rebounds, Nia loved the competition that the Big Ten provided.
It was so competitive when I was there. Like there was at least 7 or 8 teams in the top 25 in the country, so it was great talent. And always to come back home because I wasn't close to home, but I wasn't too far, but close enough to where I would have a few games here, so it was great. And having my parents and my family just to see me playing college, like that's not always the case for everyone. So.
The 5th overall pick in the 2017 WNBA draft, Nia has moved around in her career.
6, Coffee on the drive, counted and one.
Including stops in San Antonio, which moved the next year to Las Vegas, then to Atlanta, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and now back to Atlanta. Coffee loves her new hometown and the organization.
I really liked how you had the city, but then also you could retreat to like the suburbs a little bit. I loved the weather, the food. It was a melting pot of people as well.
Nia returned to Target Center in August as Atlanta played the Minnesota Lynx. She missed over half of the year, however, with a knee injury. And for the first time since her professional career began, she won't play overseas in the offseason and instead will rest. While watching from the sidelines is not as fun as playing, she is still a contributor for the Dream.
To know that I can still help lead and serve my teammates, like that's kind of what I'm focusing on now. But just to see them exceed and like having another person get an opportunity, that's also giving me another perspective and giving me a level of awareness that I didn't have before. So it's bittersweet, but it's still a blessing because I'm learning a lot.
Nia hopes to stay with Atlanta again next season. She's not sure how long she'll play professionally or what might be next after basketball.
It's Nia Coffee's game. We're just witnessing it.
I'm just in a space right now where I'm just trying to obviously be open, but right now basketball is my focus. So until something else comes along, I won't really start to, look towards that stuff.
You bet.
Jay didn't mention in the story, but her first real basketball coach was her dad, Richard. Of course, played for the Gophers and played professionally as well, and was really a big influence on her in playing basketball, along with her siblings.
I liked her all-around game, like Oz mentioned, too. I mean, even if she didn't score a lot of points, she was still making a huge impact on the games, just the way she could do a little bit of everything, and certainly one of the greats we've ever had. Well, next up, it's a high-flying basketball star on the men's side, who also went on to play in the Big Ten. Our next member of the class of 2022 in the CCX Sports Hall of Fame was an electrifying player on the basketball court and part of the best era in the sport at his school.
He's one of the most spectacular basketball stars ever in the northwest suburbs. We welcome 2009 Cooper graduate Rodney Williams Jr. to our CCX Sports Hall of Fame.
It means a lot, man. Coming up playing basketball, you have all these dreams and admirations to, do all this stuff in the NBA, but then as you get older, you kind of realize that you got to be a little more realistic sometimes. So, this Hall of Fame is something that I definitely will cherish, and I'm really excited about.
Think Rodney Williams, and the first thing that comes to mind, the dunks. Eye-popping leaping ability was Rodney's calling card. He was part of 2 state tournament teams at Cooper. One coming in his first varsity season as a 9th grader when he played a supporting role to senior stars Jefferson Mason and Jermaine Davis as the Hawks placed second.
Freshman season, I remember those games. It was crazy. I've never been in, an environment like that. Playing in the Target Center in front of the whole town. That was a lot of fun. Freshman year is a run that I'll never forget with those guys, Jefferson, Jermaine, Dennis, Adam, all those guys.
As a junior, Rodney and the Hawks upset Osseo in the Section 5 4A final to return to state, with his defense playing a key role to save the win. As a senior, it was Osseo's turn to upset Cooper in the final, showing that nothing's a given.
It prepared me for college. If anything prepared me to go play at the U, it was those junior and senior section title games. Like you said, junior year, nobody had us getting to the championship of the sections, and we got there off of a crazy block at the end of a game. We had guys you know, kind of having some trash talk, texting back and forth, because I played with Carrington in AAU, and I also played with Zach Peterson since I was little. For me to have the game-winning block on Carrington, that was probably one of my best moments.
Williams was a Mr. Basketball finalist and first-team All-State pick as a senior. The big wins, the big dunks, they're great memories, but the relationships at Cooper are what made Rodney's famous smile come out, then and now.
I love to smile. I'll never forget when I first was named the interim head coach at Cooper High School. And I was coming in the back door for practice, and here comes Rodney down the hallway with that big smile, and he gave me a big hug and said, "Coach, don't worry, everything will be okay. I'm going to be right there with you."
Playing with my brothers, man. You know, in high school, it's usually the same group of guys that you're rolling with for your whole 4 years, and I was fortunate enough to get the same group of guys for the majority of my time here. So that's the thing I think about most, is just playing with those guys and the fun that we had, you know, on the bench and the locker rooms and all.
After high school, Rodney signed to play for Tubby Smith at the University of Minnesota and worked hard to round out his game. He became a 3-year starter, leading the team in scoring, rebounding, blocks, and steals as a junior. The Gophers reached 2 NCAA tournaments and had an NIT runner-up finish in Rodney's career.
I think Cooper was probably the most fun time I had playing basketball, but the U was definitely right there. Playing in front of your hometown, playing against all those people at the barn. We had the barn rocking every single time. There was nothing like it, man.
Williams went to training camp with the Philadelphia 76ers, and his NBA dreams seemed to be within reach.
So the very last day of preseason, it was me and one guy battling, and it was like 2 minutes after practice, and we're doing a conditioning drill, and I pulled my hamstring again. So I ended up being the very last cut that year, and I missed out on a 4-year deal because of my hamstring. But
Rodney then played for a few D-League teams and also in Germany, but leg injuries brought an early end to his career. He's married with 3 kids now and recently bought a house not far from Cooper. And while he doesn't play too much ball anymore, Rodney verifies, yes, he can throw down if needed.
Yeah, I can still dunk. It won't look as nice, but I might shatter a backboard or two nowadays.
What a fun player to watch, John. Rodney's one of the better basketball players in the area, but after looking through all the video for the story, I'm still confident saying he is the best dunker we've had.
Well, and I think you hit it right on the head. Fun player to watch. All the great players we've seen play over the years, he's got to be right at the top as far as enjoyable to watch. You know, highlight reel dunks. Still to come here on the CCX Sports Hall of Fame special. Meet our 4th inductee for this year's class, a state champion golfer from Wayzata. The final Hall of Fame member for the class of 2022 is our first ever inductee whose primary sport in high school was golf.
One of the best prep golfers in Minnesota history, and now the newest member of the CCX Hall of Fame, 2014 Wayzata High School graduate Sarah Burnham. Burnham was a 6-year letter winner for the Trojans, getting her first experience in high school golf as a 7th grader.
It was a great experience too, you know. I'm a young kid playing with these high schoolers, and it was kind of a lot at the time. They're probably like, oh, who's this 7th grader? Can she even play golf, or, you know, whatever, but they were awesome to me, so I loved it.
Aaron Jacobson has coached Sarah since age 9 at her home course of Rush Creek. He could see the talent early on, and now how years of practice paid off in a near perfect swing.
Her club face when it comes in is it's almost square. It's like a degree or two open or closed, which isn't much when you consider, you know, going 100 miles an hour at the golf ball. She's able to repeat the same swing with good balance and let's call it just tempo, good rhythm throughout the swing, and she's able to get that time and time again, and that's a hard thing in golf to repeat over and over again.
The old adage of practice makes perfect held true for Burnham and the hundreds and hundreds of hours of work she put into her short game.
How much did that help you, all the hours you spent chipping and putting and just working on your short game?
That's huge. I mean, when it comes down to on the tour is a putting challenge, really. Who's going to make the putts at the end of the day? And so, yeah, that helped me a lot.
I've heard at least 10 times from people saw Sarah Burnham putting on the putting green when I teed off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd come back at 12 o'clock 4 hours later, and there she is putting still.
The 6 seasons spent playing at Wayzata were certainly good ones for the program. Burnham was part of 2 state championship teams. She also won an individual state high school title and other Minnesota amateur championships, all as a teenager.
Winning the state tournament was awesome, and then even with my team, we won it twice, so that was super fun. And you know, the state am, I believe I won state open in high school, I won as well, so all of those combined were great.
And the winning didn't stop there. She attended Michigan State University, where Burnham was twice named Big Ten Player of the Year.
It meant a lot. My coach actually came up to me and said, "Can I give you a hug for being Big Ten Player of the Year?" And I asked her, I was like, "Oh, well, who is that?" And it was me. I didn't realize that she was talking to me. So it meant a lot that, you know, they honored me with that award.
The 3-time collegiate All-American then earned her LPGA Tour card and played 3 years on the professional tour, which was not always easy.
It's definitely a grind. I mean, just all the ups and downs every week traveling, you know, you're playing really good one week and then the next week you don't really have it going. So that was definitely a challenge for me, but it was super rewarding experience. So I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to play on the LPGA.
But Sarah wasn't sure how long she wanted to compete at that high level and took a flyer on trying her hand at coaching, spending part of last season as an assistant women's golf coach at Bowling Green University in Ohio.
I think it was just, you know, seeing the kids struggle a little bit at the beginning, working through some things, the process, and becoming successful. And, you know, winning a golf tournament at the end of the year was awesome. So that meant so much, and I was so proud of the girls for their win, and just seeing them succeed is really what drew me into coaching.
And then on July 1st of this year, Sarah was introduced as the new head women's golf coach at Oakland University in suburban Detroit, a school with its own 36-hole golf course and a program coming off a Horizon League Conference championship. While Sarah Burnham's career as an LPGA pro is now behind her, that doesn't mean the 26-year-old's time as a competitive golfer is over.
I still love to compete, and there's events I can still play in my whole life, which is awesome, and that's why the game of golf is really great. You know, it's a lifelong sport, and when I didn't really realize that at the time, you know, when my dad was hounding me like, "Oh, you should play golf, you should play golf, it's a great sport," but it's been the best thing I've ever done in my life, for sure.
Jay, any golfer will tell you you're never perfect, but if there's an adage really fit in athlete, practice makes perfect, it really fits with Sarah Burnham. She put in so many hours to become the golfer that she was, and still is.
And I remember her seemingly being pretty unflappable on the course, where a lot of people get upset if they miss a shot. Even as a high school player, she just kind of got back to business and had a great next hole. Well, it was certainly great to catch up with all 4 of these great people. Really enjoyed getting to talk to them again.
Yeah, fun to catch up with all of them, and congratulations to all 4 for being our new inductees. That will do it for our Hall of Fame special. We hope you've enjoyed it. Special thanks to Jason Melillo and David Dobrin from our sports and production staff for all the hard work they put into making this special happen. For Jay Wilcox and all of us here at CCX Sports, I'm John Jacobson. Thanks so much for watching.